going to introduce the two pieces of work that I have done for this practical one. I'm going to start talking about my first piece of work, which is done through three-dimensional techniques, specifically through drawing. About my creative process, I had to say that it was hard, especially at the beginning, since I had no idea what to do. I had to say that choosing the theme I wanted to develop was easier because geometry was the one which made me feel more comfortable and inspired. But the problems arrived when I had to find what to do. This led me to block myself and stop working. In this period, some ideas came to my mind, but they really didn't convince me. So I reflect about them and in order to find something that really inspired me. The idea of represent objects through geometric figures led me to think about the methods of construction of regular polygons, which is a basic exercise in technical drawing classes. And then it was clear I had to represent geometry through the perspective of technical drawing. I thought about many exercises like homology, power, tangencies, and the herald system, and finally I chose this last one. I chose the herald system because I think it's so beautiful and combines different exercises related with geometry, such as the drawing of parallel and perpendicular lines, the construction of regular polygons, the representation of figures in 3 dimensions, or the representation of a figure in different perspectives. This work is pure geometry since all the elements we find on it are geometrical elements like lines, circles, polygons, in this case an hexagon, a prism. In this drawing we can see the projections of a prism with hexagonal base, situated in an oblique plane and whose height is 10 centimeters. This projection shows us how the prism would look if we inclined the surface on which it supports, which allows us to observe it from different perspectives without having to have physical piece. Here we are shown the base in true magnitude, that is, as it really is, as if we were observing it from above. And here we have the horizontal and vertical projections of the prism, where we can see how the shape of the base changes depending on the perspective, as well as the areas of the prism that are visible and those that are hidden. These last ones are represented through discontinuous lines. Finally, I would like to say that this method is widely used in engineering. Now I'm going to talk about my second piece of work, which is done through the modern techniques, specifically through the body art. About my creative process, in this case, it was easier and faster to take decisions about the theme and the technique, and I decided to do something about otherness through the body art, as I said before. But I have some problems after that, since I didn't know how to represent otherness through the body art, and it led me to block myself again. I stopped working on it, and ideas started coming to my mind, and finally I decided to paint my face in this way. As we can see in the picture, I divided myself in many parts, some of them painted in black and white, and the rest is painted with a white base with some points of color and also a tree with different color leaves. Black and white parts represent negative emotions or feelings, since when these emotions predominate, they distort our reality, causing us to focus on a dark vision of our life, which blinds us and prevents us from seeing that despite these bad things, there are good things full of color. On the other hand, the color part represents the positive emotions or feelings, which I wanted to represent in addition of the use of different points of color through a tree with different colored leaves, specifically the tree of life, since I think that these good emotions are the fruit or the product of life, hence the colored leaves, and also the engine that boosts it. Finally, I want to add that I represented the black and white part as if we're underneath a colorful pot, since sometimes we had negative feelings under a mask of false well-being, thus giving rise to the two faces of a person.